greatest merger of all time or a geopolitical disaster.
And putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that.
We're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends. I love Canada. I love it.
I think the Canadian government is paying attention because President Trump is putting tariffs. He's trolling them.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Trump says he wants Canada. We're taking it over. We're going to extend our northern border right on up there and take over Canada. But, you know, it's a country of liberals, so that might be a really bad idea given we have the vote. Welcome to John Mike Keane. We're going to go into the whole Canada issue, and it's great to hear Jessica Tarlov, Kevin O'Leary, and Tyrus weigh in.
It could be the greatest merger of all time or a geopolitical disaster. Shark Tank star and proud Canadian Kevin O'Leary is making a stunning claim that half of his fellow Canucks, that's about 20 million people, are open to President-elect Trump's bold pitch to make Canada the 51st state. And he's even willing to go down to Mar-a-Lago to help broker the deal. Watch.
Canadians over the holidays, the last 2 days, have been talking about this. They want to hear more. Think about the power of combining the two economies, erasing the border between Canada and the United States.
Kevin O'Leary just wants to do it because he came from Canada. Americans, I don't know if we'd be for this or not. I do like the idea of taking them over for their resources. That'd be really good. Maybe bring them into the 51st state. So Trump said this comment kind of trolling in passing, and it ended up opening up a debate within Canada. And they started doing polling, and allegedly half of them are for the idea.
And putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that, give a common currency, figure out taxes across the board, get everything trading both ways, create a new, almost EU-like passport. I like this idea, and at least half of Canadians are interested.
And that's not the only person showing up at Mar-a-Lago. Two top Canadian cabinet members are meeting with Trump's team and border czar Tom Homan today. They aim to hammer out a border security plan that Canada hopes will ward off Trump's threats to impose economically damaging tariffs on imports. Homan is telling Fox that Canada is, quote, ready to go on immigration enforcement, and Trump himself has made it clear where he stands.
Essentially, we're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends. I love Canada. I love it. But why are we spending $150 billion on Canada? Yet Canada allows people and drugs to flood in through our northern border.
So I caught your face as I was talking, and it wasn't just because I called Kevin O'Leary Ken. What do you think about this merger idea, Tyrus?
I think both of his watches are broken. Like, okay, there's no 50% of Canadians willing to give up Canada.
So he doubts that poll, the 50% being for it. I think that poll could be true. Doesn't mean that we still want to do it. I'm not here for what Canadians think. I think we get a lot of support from Canada, and we certainly are big fans of the Canadian trucker rally. We're both Canadians and Americans. There's a lot of red-blooded patriotism in both of us, and we love those Canadians. All my Canadian friends, a bunch of them, are conservative, hardworking. There's a lot of cowboys up there. I like Canadians, but man, I do not like your government. It is evil. And so you have all these amazing resources, and the problem is the heart and soul of it. Canada still bows to a throne. They sing Save the Queen or whatever as their national anthem. It's like America, it would almost make more sense for us to take, if we're going to wipe out a border, but that just removes a border. Trump will have wiped out the biggest border in America, the northern border. Why not wipe out the southern border and let's buy Mexico? Then we could get some nice beachfront vacation with some tacos.
I mean, that's their country. They'd be like 50% of Americans being like, oh yeah, we want to join the other side. It almost sounds like a promotional stunt for a TV show. I think the Canadian government is paying attention because President Trump is putting tariffs. He's trolling them. He's having a good time with it. And maybe Mr. Wonderful is trying to get in on it. But 50%, I'd love to see the poll. Like, it goes back to what this administration is trying to do is not a laughing matter. President Trump is putting his foot down and he's using tariffs to get them to come to the table. I think there's a huge conservative presence in Canada, but we haven't seen it for a long time. And let's be honest, if Canada became a country that will play along with this game, okay, it would be they're one of the most liberal countries, which means the 2 Senate seats that they would have would make Jessica's day because they would both be liberal and would lose the Senate. So thank you, no. We're good.
Okay.
No deal, as they would say in Guppy Tank or Shark Tank or whatever it is.
Thank you, no. No deal, he says. I agree with that on the political side. I don't think it's a match. I think Canada has its own amazing identity. It doesn't need to become America. We always joke and call it America's hat. But Canada itself has a rich, funky history. It's its own place. So no, I would love to, if we could purchase Canada or make it a 51st state or whatever. And I think the Canadian people, it's possible you could even get enough of them. The bigger problem to me is economics. You know, the median income of Canada is below like what our people in our poorest areas in Alabama make every year. So they would drag our job, you know, our salaries down by having them be part of the country. And then like Tyrus said, who knows what the liberal Canadians would do with their 2 seats. They could be just complete Trudeau-like psychos because they can't figure out their elections either. For some reason, they can only elect globalist socialists.
Trump is getting his desired effect, right? People are coming. He's holding court there. He has his transition team down there. But this is pretty high stakes in terms of trade with Canada. So they buy 300 billion of our goods. We buy about 340 billion of their goods. And as last I checked, the USMCA was negotiated by Trump 1.0. So where do you think we end up?
What we're going to end up with, this is Trump's art of the deal. You know, you ask for the entire country, and then maybe they'll lower taxes on imports. Maybe they won't tariff you so much. Maybe they'll do a fair trade agreement and strengthen our alliance with them. That's the bottom line of this thing. It's not going to be that we end up inheriting that country. It's Trump, you know, he's going to do an incredible deal. They're down in Mar-a-Lago, and so he's trolling them. You make fun of an opponent to show them that you think they're weak. That's all he's doing by saying that he's going to take Canada.
Joey, I want to pick up on that with Tom Homan. He seems to have become really a central player in this transition. And you have Democrats and Republicans that are talking to him. You have Mayor Adams here in New York City. I had a meeting with him. Do you think that the Canadians being ready to play ball so quickly, so they have a new border security bill to invest another $1 billion in this, they clearly know that it's a central plank of Trump's platform and what he wants to do moving forward. They're also all up for re-election, right? And Trudeau is forecasted to lose. Do you think they're foreseeing a Trump-like movement north of the border as well and trying to stamp that out?
No, I believe they're definitely seeing a Trump-like movement in Canada. That could be what's reflected in those polls of them digging America being okay with joining us. The movement of the patriots, the farmers, and the blue-collar people against the establishment globalist government is not just here in America, guys. I saw it with that Canadian trucker rally, blew my mind. I didn't know there were that many patriots in Canada, and they shut the whole place down. That was inspiring to me. And then you also have the farmers in Europe rejecting their globalist power, rejecting the government's desire to push them out of their property and tax their inheritance. This is a world, remember, Milei, Argentina, Venezuela, I think even Cuba, these places are in play because the people are done with this leftist, Marxist, socialist garbage. What do you guys think? Do you want Canada to join us? I'll give it a passive yes. I want to hear what you think. I'm John Mike Kane.